Hi and welcome to the 30th edition of Physics 9. This is Sir CJ, and in this session, we are going to be dealing with the following parts. The first one is under gather information. It's a discussion about kinetic energy. And then the second one is under gather information paren. It's a problem solving discussion on a sample problem on mechanical energy. And then the last part is under still gather information. It's another problem solving discussion, but this time you are going to be doing it independently. The learning competency that we are going to target in this session is as follows. So you should be capable of explaining energy transformation in various activities and events, such as in waterfalls, in archery, and amusement rides. This one is based on the 7E based self learning module in Science 9, which I wrote for my master's degree, and you'll particularly see it in Unit 4, book number 21, pages number 19 to 21. Let's begin. So, what is kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is the energy of an object because of its motion. Kapag gumagalaw ang isang bagay, it's actually possessing some kind of an energy, and that is kinetic energy. The object has a mass, and it's also moving, so it has velocity, and it can be acquired using the following formula. Well, unlike momentum, kinetic energy is equal to the product of the square of the velocity multiplied by the mass divided by 2. If we remember dun sa mga previous sessions natin, 'di ba? Ang momentum, it is the product of mass and velocity alone. But in kinetic energy, you're actually gonna square the velocity before multiplying it by the mass, and you're going to divide the product by 2. Now, the mass is going to be in kilograms, and then the velocity is going to be in meters per second. But as you may know, in this case, it's gonna be like a kilogram meters squared per second squared. Okay, so it further separates itself from the fact that it's quite related to momentum, because momentum is only kilogram meters per second. Okay? Now remember that in the previous discussions, we mentioned that the amount of work done on an object is actually equal to the amount of change in the object's kinetic energy. So, yung isang object, pwede siyang gawan ng work, 'di ba? Pwede siyang exertan ng work. Now, remember, to compute for that work, we have a particular kind of formula which was force multiplied by distance. And if you want to see how much changed in the object's kinetic energy, we just have to compute, or we just have to make peace that the amount of work done on it is actually equal to that change as well. Okay, so pareho lang siya. The kinetic energy is equal to the amount of work done on an object. So it's Ke is equal to work, or W. Now, I always tell my students to always be sensitive when it comes to the capitalization of things. And so I hope that you're also being sensitive when it comes to those kinds of matters when you are solving problems related to physics. Okay? Now, speaking of solving problems related to physics, let us have this first sample problem on mechanical energy. So say CJ is traveling to Iloilo with JP, and they are riding a 55,000 kilogram airplane moving at a velocity of 85 meters per second in the air. Now, they are 12,000 meters above the ground. Now, observing this kind of problem, you see these numbers, right, with their units. And I hope that you already know na meron tong parang kinalaman doon sa mga topics na discuss natin very recently. So the first thing you're gonna be looking for is the potential energy of the airplane, and then the kinetic energy of the airplane, and then the mechanical energy of the airplane. Ayan. And for these three missing factors, we have different formulas to use. Okay, so we will be including those as well in your upcoming examinations. Or if you're not my student, make sure to have them memorized. Okay? Alright, so these are just, kumbaga parang medyo marami sa tingnan. Pero Actually, medyo mabilis lang naman to. We just have to keep, a level mind in solving these problems. So, the first among our givens is the mass of the airplane, which is 55,000 kilograms. And then, yung velocity naman niya is actually 85 meters per second. And then, yung kanyang height from the ground is 12,000 meters. Now, make sure that these units are the units that we need. If hindi, mag-convert ka muna. Okay? Alright. Now, yung nawawala are the following: potential energy, kinetic energy, at saka mechanical energy. Now, when you are going to solve your own independent problem-solving activity mamaya, make sure that you follow this muna, no? Kasi what we do here in these sessions is that I give you a sample problem that is very much alike dun sa mga independent problems na pinapasolve ko sa'yo. Okay, and then just keep on training yourself in that pattern. And then if you want to parang switch it up, ayun, you can actually do that. Okay? Pero for the meantime, make sure that you follow this pattern muna. Alright? Alright. Okay, so the first thing we'll be solving for, as it is indicated here, it's the potential energy. Now, when we talk about potential energy, di ba, meron siyang mga kinds. It has different types. That's the first thing we're gonna be looking for. We have to first decide on what kind of potential energy is being asked. Is it gravitational? Is it elastic? Now, since the airplane is not a spring nor a rubber band, and since its height is given, binigay yung height, we can therefore conclude that the problem is asking for the airplane's gravitational potential energy. And it is kumbaga, kind of potential energy na kukunan natin ng formula. Okay. Now, remember that the formulas for the gravitational and elastic potential energy are actually different from each other. So, para malaman mo, makapag-decide ka, to help you decide which formula or which kind of potential energy you're dealing with, you have to review your givens. Okay? So, paano mo magagawa yun if you're not going to list your givens down? Okay? As my student, I always require them actually to write their givens down. Or if you're not my student and if your professor or your teacher is quite lax or relaxed in that kind of matter, I am urging you to still do it. Okay, para ma-review mo yung units, para makita mo yung kung anong type of factors ba sila talaga, 'di ba? And you can also decide kung dun sa case ng mga initial and mga final, 'di ba? In terms of velocity, may initial doon tsaka final. Sa momentum, may initial doon at tsaka final. You can properly classify them. You can also work with them faster if you write them as givens muna. Okay, so I really urge you to write your givens down. It's gonna help you a lot. Okay, so the formula for gravitational potential energy is multiplying mass by the acceleration due to gravity by the height. Alright. Now, you'll be substituting the factors now that are given here. So, given ang mass, given ang height, and yung G is a constant. Can you please tell me ano yung constant na to? Anong value nito? Okay, it's 9.8 meters per second squared. Ayan siya. Alright. Now, the next thing we're gonna do is we will be carrying out the operations. Can you please multiply them? What did you get? Okay, so the gravitational potential energy is supposed to be 6,468,000,000 Newton meters. Okay, so yun yung gravitational potential energy ng mismong airplane. It's actually really huge. Alright, we now proceed to the next factor that is missing, which is kinetic energy. For kinetic energy, we only have one formula, right? We'll be using it. It's Ke is equal to mv squared divided by 2. Okay, now, substitute the givens. Okay, it should look like this. Okay, and then, you'll be carrying out the operations. So, it's gonna look like this. So, first is you're gonna be squaring this, multiplying it by that, and then divide it by 2, and you're gonna get 198,000,000 687,500 Newton meter. So as you can see, magkapareho lang sila ng unit ng potential energy. Okay? Alright. Now, the definition of mechanical energy is it is the sum of the potential and kinetic energy. Is that right? Let us see in the next part of this problem-solving activity. In solving for ME, we'll be using what kind of formula? Now, I want you to be the first one to write it down. Is this the formula you're gonna use? Very good. Now, substitute the givens. Substitute the factors which you solved for. Write them down. Okay, does it look like this? You're basically gonna add them up and you're gonna get... Okay, so you're gonna get 6,666,687,500 Newton meters. And that is the total mechanical energy of the airplane. All right. Did you get the answer correctly? I hope so. All right. So this ends the second part, which is a guided problem-solving activity in mechanical energy. I hope that you got the answer correctly because you are going to solve for your own problem in this third and last part of this session. Go ahead. Get your calculator and get your piece of paper and your pen, grab it up, and solve for the following problem. If you need more time, you can always pause this video. Are you done? Make sure that you have your givens listed, the units are correct. Okay? Alright. This is the correct answer for this independent problem-solving activity. The airplane has a kinetic energy of 137,500,000 kilogram meters per second squared meter or Newton meter. Did you get it correctly? I hope so. Alright, now that ends the 30th session of Physics 9. In this session, we were capable of finishing the following parts. Discussion under gather information on kinetic energy, a guided problem-solving activity on sample problem on mechanical energy under gather information, and another one from gather information problem-solving that is independent on a problem on mechanical energy or kinetic energy. Okay, now, remember that this video lesson is based on the 7E-based self-learning module in Science 9 which I wrote. Particularly, you will find these parts on Unit 4, book number 21, pages 19 to 21. We are still targeting to be masters on the following learning competency. It's explaining energy transformation in various activities or events such as waterfalls, archery, and amusement rides. This is Sir CJ, and I hope that I will see you in the next video lesson. Have a good day!